Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today's video is one I'm really excited about doing. I know I've seen a lot of people do this video already, and I just wanted to, of course I'm going to have some overlap with other people because a lot of these are exciting, but I think I have some unique ones in here that maybe haven't been talked about often, or anyway, I'm excited about these. Today I have my 2023 most anticipated romance releases. So obviously this is not everything that I know that is going to be released next year, specifically for indie authors who sometimes have more of a short time period when they release their books. But these are ones that I was able to find that I am very excited about, that I have high expectations for, and I'm excited to share them with you. So in January, there are 4 books that I want to talk about. The first one is Georgie All Along by Kate Clayborn. I love Kate Clayborn. I've read a few of her books in the past, and one of them, Love at First, is one of my favorite books ever. I really, really love that one. So she writes contemporary romances. They're usually emotional and soft, and I just adore that so much. I think she also does banter really well. She has really good banter, so I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be great. Another book that I am excited about that comes out in January is The Duke Gets Even by Joanna Shupe. So Joanna Shupe is a favorite author of mine. Some of her books end up slightly disappointing me only because of what happens in the end, like the third act conflict. If something is going to not work for me, that's usually what it is. But she still remains an all-time favorite of mine. I do have an arc of this book. I haven't read it yet. I'm trying to not hear anything about this book from people who've already read it. I really want to go into this with my own expectations, and that's all. But I'm super, super stoked about this. I think this is maybe the last book in her new historical romance series. I'm actually not sure if there are more after it or not. Okay, so now the next 2 books that I have are actually not romance, but I am very excited about them nonetheless. One is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. Ninth House is one of my favorite books of all time. It is dark, and it is unsettling, and it is very deeply feminist, I feel like, and I just really freaking loved it, and it just took me for a ride. I have been waiting for this book to come out ever since Ninth House came out. I read it immediately because Leigh Bardugo is a favorite author of mine, and I have just kind of been dying for Hellbent. So I'm very excited about this one. I do plan to try and reread Ninth House before this one comes out, but I can't wait. And the next one is actually a YA book by probably the OG author who got me into reading YA, and that is Cassandra Clare. I have very vivid memories of reading City of Bones, so I get her books every time they come out. I'm actually not caught up on this series either. I need to read the one before it. But her new release in January is called Chain of Thorns, and this cover is so stunning. And yeah, I definitely need a refresher course for this series because truthfully, I don't even really remember what happened in the first book. But I'm excited about it, and I want to read it. Okay, moving on to February, we have The Counterfeit Scandal by Lorraine Heath. Listen, if Lorraine Heath is going to write a book, I'm going to read it. If it's a historical romance especially, that's really all I'm interested in from her. Sorry, Lorraine. But this one, I don't really know what it's about. It's Lorraine Heath. It has a beautiful cover. That's all I really need to know, is that it's by Lorraine Heath and it's her historical romance. Okay, another book that comes out in February is Jasper Vale by Devney Perry. I am excited about this, but I am a little hesitant because while I have enjoyed the books in this series, they have not at all been like knocked it out of the park. So I'm approaching this one with a little bit of hesitation and a little bit of like reduced expectations because I do love Devney Perry. I've read a lot of her books, but this series doesn't always hit for me. But I am excited about this one. It comes out in February. Okay, and this one is the one that I feel like is on everybody's list, and it is Powerless by Elsie Silver. Let me just tell you, I cannot wait for this book. I love Elsie Silver. I think she's fantastic. I cannot wait to get my hands on this book. Literally, anything this woman writes, I'm going to read it. I don't even care what it is. You want to write me a grocery list? I'll read that. For real. Okay, moving on to March, we have The Secret Lives of Country Gentlemen by K.J. Charles. So I have never read a K.J. Charles book before. I know that they write queer historical romances, and this one is pitched as Bridgerton meets Poldark, and it's queer. That's all I need to know. Literally, that's all I need to know. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I hope that this is a good choice for my first read by K.J. Charles. If you've read this author before, please let me know if you have a favorite of theirs, and I would love to give that one a try. Okay, so this one is 100% a cover by, and I have heard of this author before, but I haven't delved too deeply into the other books she's written, but it is Hotel of Secrets by Diana Biller. So this one is set in 1870 Vienna, and it sounds like there's a lot of like scandal and intrigue and almost like a James Bond type of character who is like the hero big, broad-shouldered, dashing man. He has secrets and rescues her. I don't know. It just sounded fun. The cover looks beautiful, and I'm excited about it. So I'm hoping that's a good one. Okay, now this is definitely one of my most anticipated books. This, again, is a book that I have literally been dying for ever since I read the first one, and it is The Portrait of a Duchess by Scarlett Peckham. I do have an ARC for this one as well, and I know that ARCs have been circulating, and if you don't mind, I'm going to please ask that you don't tell me how you feel about this book. If you have read an ARC, like, please don't tell me. I don't want to know. I am so excited, but also so anxious about this book, and I really, truly don't want any other impressions, because The Raycast, the first book in the series, is one of my all-time favorite books. It means so much to me. It impacted me deeply, and I've just been dying for the second book in the series, so I don't mean to be rude. I truly don't, but, like, if you know anything about this book, if you have feelings about it, if you've read it already, just, like, I don't want to know right now, okay? Okay, so this next book, I believe, is a YA book, and the cover just grabbed me. I could be wrong if it's YA, I'm not sure, but I picked it up based on the cover and brief read of the synopsis. It's The Witch and the Vampire, and this is a sapphic Rapunzel retelling. With witches and vampires? I believe Rapunzel? I don't know if that's right. It's a retelling, and it's sapphic, and it's got Witch and the Vampire in the title, so, like, I mean, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. It sounds amazing. Okay, now moving on to April. One book I am really excited for is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I read Part of Your World late in the year and absolutely fell in love with it. Just completely adored that book so much. So now this is an author that's on my radar, and I want to catch up with her when she has a new release. I want to read it. The only thing I really know about this book is that the woman is divorced and she's a doctor, and it sounds like there's a rival doctor who she thinks is just this, like, douchebag. But then he ends up writing her a letter, and she's like, well, he's actually a really nice guy, and they correspond through letters, so it sounds like it's partly epistolary, which I'm excited about. And there was a mention in the blurb about their shared love of mini horses, so, like, say less, okay? Okay, the next book is A Rogue's Rules for Seduction by Ava Leigh. So I have really enjoyed this new series by Ava Leigh. I think that each book for me has gotten better. I am very excited about this. This is Dom's book. He is the last of the trio of men who are supposed to be, like, finding love and good matches, and I'm so excited for him. I think that he is a big boy, but he's, like, tender on the inside and harsh on the outside, and I just can't wait for this book. I also have an ARC of this one. I just haven't read it yet. Okay, this one is another one that I know is going to be on several people's lists, and it is King of Pride by Ana Huang. Look, this is another author. Ana Huang writes it. I'm going to read it. I don't care what it is. I'm going to read it, and I have a full expectation that I'm going to love it. I have yet to be disappointed by an Ana Huang book. That's just me. I love her. I love her books. I don't find them disappointing at all. I think they're fantastic. So now these next books, some of them are tentative releases. One of them doesn't even specifically have a date, but I mean, this author told me that it will be coming out, that she expects it to be coming out in the early part of the year, and that is Score by Kennedy Ryan. This is the second book in the Hollywood Renaissance series. I can't wait for this book. I am dying over it. I don't have an exact release date, but when I interviewed her, she did mention that this was going to be her 2023 release, so that's all I need to know. This author is the one that absolutely owns the saying, if she writes it, I'm gonna read it. I don't care what it is. Kennedy, I don't care what it is. If you write it, I'm gonna read it. Okay, so this next one comes out in May, and it is Grim and Barrett by Juliet Cross. I adore Juliet Cross. This Stay a Spell series is probably my favorite paranormal romance series. They're comfort reads for me. I find them just so entertaining, so charming, so swoony. I just love them. I love the way she writes her romances. I think they're fantastic. I'm very excited about that one. This next one comes out in June, and it is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I very much enjoyed the other two Ali Hazelwood books that I have read. I haven't read any of her novellas, and I don't plan to. Novellas are often hit or miss for me, and I haven't heard great things about them. But I loved The Love Hypothesis, and I also enjoyed Love on the Brain, though not quite as much. So I'm excited about this. I'm really excited. I really vibe with her writing. I think that she works for me as an author to give me a really fun, enjoyable romance, and I'm excited about it. Oh boy, okay, this next one is another one that I am very much anticipating, and it is Knockout by Sarah McLean. Listen, I adore Sarah McLean, always have, always will. I'm gonna read anything she writes. This series for me has gotten better as well. The first book was not a slam dunk for me. The second book I very much enjoyed, and so I'm highly anticipating this third book. Really excited about it. Okay, so this last book is a book that I have been waiting for since 2020, and I don't know that this is for sure the date it's going to come out. I think there's a chance that it will change because it already has changed and been pushed back quite a bit, but I'm hoping it comes out this year, and the projected date isn't until November, so that's a long time away. That's almost a year away from right now. But that's okay. The book is A Dance of Smoke and Steel by Milla Bain. Listen, this is probably my favorite fantasy romance series. I love it. I love how dark and gritty it is. I love the brutal nature of this world. I love the complex relationships. I just find it fascinating. I love it. I just can't wait for this book. I'm so freaking excited about it. I need to have it right now. So, all right, this is obviously not a comprehensive list, but these are the books that I for sure know or think are coming out in this year that I just can't wait to read. So let me know if you are also excited for any of these, or if you know of a book coming out that I didn't mention that you're excited about. Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear that. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all in my next video.